Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, in the Dark Brandon versus Donald Trump saga, we have reached another level, okay? As you know, Mar-a-Lago was raided. Why was it raided? Because the FBI asked nicely and gently and kindly to take back some classified documents that Donald Trump was not supposed to have, that he refused to give back. Yesterday, we found out that he refused to give those documents back on counsel by Tom Fitton, who is not a lawyer and has an English degree, I believe. But Tom Fitton's legal advice had decided to, tell Donald Trump to keep the fucking classified material and not give it back. He didn't give it back. And some other interesting things happened in this process. They released a search warrant. That made Trump look more bad. So then Trump was like, I want the affidavit, which is kind of like saying, oh, I know Obama released his birth certificate, but now we want the long form birth certificate. You know what I mean? So then they went back to the magistrate court. The same guy, Bruce Reinhardt, I believe his name is, or whatever the fuck the guy's name is. The same magistrate court that had signed off on the search warrant to go into Mar-a-Lago to retrieve these documents decided, sure, we can allow a redacted affidavit to be released because this is an extraordinary circumstance. This is an extraordinary circumstance. A former president being raided by the FBI is an extraordinary circumstance. So obviously, this is in the public's interest. Now, of course, the affidavit will include key details about an investigation, so they can't show the affidavit in its entirety. It would leak and reveal civilians that they're using, people that they're actually people that are fundamentally important, that are within the Trump administration, that are key witnesses. You know what I mean? It'll reveal what the investigation is before the investigation is concluded. And that way, we know Donald Trump loves tampering with investigations. Donald Trump could have a better shot at stopping this or obstructing justice, right? So all of that happened. And after Bruce Reinhardt decided you should be able to release this redacted affidavit, today was the final day and they released it. Now, simultaneously, there's another thing happening here that I think is really, really, really important. Okay? What I find really interesting about the affidavit itself or the conversation itself is that Trump and his crackpot team of lawyers, his television lawyers that aren't even like real lawyers. They got like Phoenix law degrees, okay? Phoenix University online law degrees. Are also simultaneously at a separate court currently trying to stop the FBI from opening up the classified documents. Like they're trying to block the FBI from opening the classified documents that Trump took. They're like, come on, just don't open them. Just please. They are trying to stop the FBI. They went judge shopping, and they're trying to stop the FBI from literally conducting its investigation and finding what kind of classified details are hidden in this treasure trove that they were able to recover from Mar-a-Lago, which I find particularly interesting. If there was nothing there, why would you try to stop the FBI from conducting an investigation? Also, asking a judge to be like, hey, I know that there's an ongoing investigation into me right now, but I found another judge that's more favorable to me. And I'm going to ask that judge to just basically stop the federal investigation from being conducted is a really cool legal technique. Don't think it would work, but who knows? It's Donald Trump. Anyway. Without further ado, here is Lester Holt in all of his glory describing the Justice Department releasing the affidavit used for the Trump home search warrant. Bolshevik98, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Before we get into that, I'm going to run the first ad break right now. Okay? At the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub. Trump's Mar-a-Lago made allowed 5 people to no longer see the ads. Thank you. Bolshevik98, another 5. X-Blaze-It Jesse and Joyous Pancake with another 5. And Econ Mang with the 10 gifted subs. And Comrade Silly Goose with another 10 gifted. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Let's get started.
Breaking news about the recent FBI search of former President Donald Trump's Florida estate. The affidavit that was used to obtain the search warrant has just been publicly released. A judge yesterday ruled it must be made public. And just now, the government filed a redacted copy of that affidavit. So there's still a lot of information in it that will remain hidden, as it could reveal sources and hamper the Justice Department's investigation. But there is a lot that it does reveal about why the FBI felt they needed to do the search. I want to go right now to Ken Delaney, an NBC News justice correspondent. Ken, you've had a few minutes to go through this and try to read around the redactions. What are some of the early takeaways?
Good afternoon, Lester. Well, the first takeaway comes not from the affidavit itself, but from the 13-page memorandum of law that the DOJ filed to the judge to justify why they had to redact certain key information. And they talk about witnesses. And there's a crucial line in here that it said that the witness information needs to remain sealed to protect the safety and privacy of a significant number of civilians.
I love this, dude. He's like, come on! We need to hear these witnesses. Why are you not showing me who the witnesses are? Yeah, affidavit. By the way, yes, I misspell affidavit only on my Twitch stream. On my Twitch stream title on purpose, deliberately, because I think that it's a fun way to get people to click on the stream to be like, you wrote it wrong. I know. Yeah. You're duped. You're duped into coming in here every time I do that. It's literally on purpose. I mean, I write it correctly in every other place. On the Instagram story, on fucking Twitter, every other place I write it correctly. I've been doing it for 2 days. It's copium? Sure. I mean, I don't give a fuck. As long as you're in here watching, I literally do not care if you think it's real or if you think it's fake. That's the point.
In witnesses. Now that's significant because there's been a lot of reporting about a single informant, a confidential human source. What this shows is that there was no one particular source that was crucial to the FBI determining probable cause in this case. They're saying there are a significant number of civilian witnesses whose identities they need to protect.
Yeah, apparently there's information in there that's like, information in there that is specific to you know, like highly classified personnel. Okay, viewers left after you said that about affidavit spelling 2K salty Andes. No, it's because I ran the top of the hour ad break. That always changes the number drastically because people leave. They don't want to see the ad. You are correct. I joked about the gym. I'm only at being for men. Because there is 99% men working out there. See, I told you. Knut wants everyone to work out. He doesn't think only men should work out. He wants women's to work out too. He wants everyone to be jacked and hit the gym. It was just joking.
And then I have to tell you, Lester, most of the information in which the FBI agent lays out the probable cause, the really juicy stuff, explaining the legal justification for the search, is completely blacked out. This page really tells the tale. There's a line here that says there is probable.
By the way, we knew that this was going to be the case for like a week now, for 2 weeks now. We have been saying time and time again that, like, yeah, the fucking affidavit is going to be incredibly redacted. Because no one is going to cuck their own investigation. Like, it doesn't work that way. You can't just be like, hey, I know we're conducting an investigation into you, but since you asked nicely, we're just going to show you exactly what we're doing. Like, why would you fucking reveal your hand?
Cause to believe that documents containing classified NDA, that's national defense information, and presidential records remain at the premises. But obviously, they're not telling us what that is. But what they do tell us, and what we do learn from what's not redacted here, Lester, is more details about just how highly classified some of this information that they found in jail.
I love this because, like, every time Trump is like, come on, reveal more information. I dare you. And he's like secretly behind the scenes, he's like, please don't reveal more information. right? He's like, come on, do it. Reveal more information. Do it. You won't. And then they're like, okay. He'll be like, okay, here it is. Oh, yeah, I wrote affidavit wrong on Twitter as well. You got me, Mango JPEG. Bro, I love Mango JPEG for being, what do you call it? For being one of those guys who, like, always will call out people who are brain broken, and they're like, oh, dude, it's just semantics, like, chill out. But then he's literally doing it. Being a spelling and grammar Nazi is literally, like, it's clickbait. It serves the exact same purpose on Twitter as well. Like, I don't think you realize what you're doing. As long as you're in here, it doesn't matter. I won that. Anyway, it's cool. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. If you want to believe that I spelled it wrong, who cares? What was I saying? It's so irrelevant to the main conversation. You guys are so dumb. Oh, God, you fucked me up. Holding the streamer accountable. Oh, yeah, he was like... So he was basically saying, like, okay, reveal it. And then secretly on the side, his legal team is like, please don't reveal it. Just don't reveal it. Because they have access to, not the affidavit, but they had access to the search warrant. They didn't reveal the search warrant when they were like, come on, pussy, DOJ, reveal it. And then every time the DOJ reveals more elements of the investigation, it makes him more fucking guilty. Like, every time the DOJ is like, well, yeah, actually, we found out that there's, like, you know, the nuclear football was stolen. And he's like, oh, well, not like that. Don't reveal it like that. And then Republicans have to, like, figure out a new way to just basically post hoc patch what Donald Trump was saying and then turn it into, like, a viable strategy of deflection. They'll be like, oh, yeah, well, who cares if everybody has a nuke anyway? I think everyone should have a nuke. It's like the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? Like, every week, there's new information coming out that makes him look worse. And then when new information comes out that makes him look worse, Republicans that were defending him at first by saying, what if they planted the documents? What if he declassified those documents himself? Even if they were fucking planted, he, I guess, declassified them because he's still the president. What if the documents actually had no important information in them? Okay, what if the important information was there, but also at the same time, it's not that important? We've decided that it's not important right now. At a certain point, it's going to get down to, like, these were, like, literally targets for assassination by the CIA, and Trump just kept those files for no reason. And they'll still be like, well, you know, CIA, if Donald Trump wanted to show every dentist at Mar-a-Lago who the CIA targets wanted for assassination were, that's totally adequate and not a compromise to national security in any meaningful capacity. They're just going to keep moving the fucking goalposts. There is nothing that Donald Trump could do that Republicans will turn around and say, well, that was fucked up. He should not do that. It's just not going to happen. Okay? But you know who fucking wins? We do, because this is fun content, okay? Straight up. Conservatives are too dumb to notice this backpedaling. I don't think it's just that they're dumb. They're also, like, incredibly motivated to just love Trump and defend Trump. They just really like, they don't really care. They care more about, like, Trump, who they believe is a beacon for their resentment towards America, and a really good vector of their anger. They just want him to win. You know what I mean? They just like him. And they think, like, he's their guy. You know? He has their best interests at heart. And even if there's, like, so much evidence that that is not the case, they don't care. As long as, like, libs are fucking being triggered or whatever. Haha, lol. Oh, did you give the secret sauce of, like, enriching uranium to Saudi Arabia? Who cares if they did 9/11? Fucking 9/11 was sick, actually. Fucking Lipdart City. Burned to the ground, you know what I mean? They didn't do it in Mississippi, where I'm from. Like, there's no amount of, like, they will literally say anything as long as it's still, in defense of Donald Trump.
January in Mar-a-Lago is. So if you'll recall, Trump and his lawyers turned over 15 boxes of records to the National Archives, and they found classified information in those boxes. What this document now says is the FBI found 184 unique documents bearing classification markings, including 67 documents marked as confidential, 92 marked secret, and 25 marked top secret. But beyond that, Lester, there were markings that denote some of the most sensitive information in the government. One is called HCS, Human Control System. That's a designation for a report by a CIA officer or other human source collector of an interview with a confidential source overseas. In other words, a spy. These documents are so sensitive, they are never found outside a special facility to house classified information. They generally don't leave the agency itself, but they are sometimes handed to a president in a very highly classified intelligence briefing as an example of the kind of intelligence.
Bro, why did he take that? That's so funny. Dude, like, why did he take that? He's just like, this is a spy. It's so cool. Like, what the fuck? I need to understand why he was like, this is such cool information. The most moist doctors at Mar-a-Lago and used car dealership owners are going to think I'm so cool. Like, did he do like a fucking, grab bag type thing? Like those TikTok live streams where they just like dip the fucking thing into a pool of crystals. You know what I mean? They dip the scoop into a pool of crystals and it's just like, oops, some of them were really, really top. Some of them were really top secret. It was during the devious lick era. TikTok. They were doing devious licks. That's why I did it. Kids, they were stealing the soap dispenser at schools. Believe me, they were stealing the soap dispensers at schools. So I stole top secret documents
that he sees in his daily briefing. Sometimes the briefers want to tell him exactly where it came from, and they would hand him this kind of document.
Yeah, here. A major point here, the FBI found documents marked HCS, which refers to clandestine human sources who risk their lives to provide information to the U.S. government. We live in an era where the government has redacted the names of the career FBI special agents and court records to protect their and their families from death threats fueled by conspiracy theorists. He's just showing them where George Bush was on Dallas, November 22nd, in 1963 was the problem. Dude, that would be so sick if he did that. That would be so fucking sick. But it's not. It's just not cool. You know what I mean? It's not going to be that cool. It's either going to be here. You know what it is? It's either going to be like so that Jared Kushner could make like $2 billion basically selling like his real estate properties that were never going to fucking ever be sold to anyone else because they're like in a state of disrepair or something to some fucking Saudi royals. Or it's going to be because an even funnier reason, which is he just grabbed as many fucking top secret documents as he could just to just like, flex and show it to people. And didn't realize that some of those had like really, really important information in them. Or the liberal blue anon attitude is that he took all of that because he's Vladimir Putin's puppet or something. Or, I mean, to be fair, not that he's like Vladimir Putin's puppet or something, but he could have just like taken as many top secret documents as possible because he thought he could have leverage in the future. Whether it's leverage from a foreign entity or leverage from the US government. Like, I can see him thinking that he's going to do that. Like, he's going to be like, yeah, in the future, believe me, when they come for me, I will tell them I have so many secrets. I have so many secrets. The most secrets, they say. You know what I mean? Like, I can use the secrets against the government. I think he took them as to use as props to make it seem like his office is way more important than it is. The White House South. I mean, yeah. Stole documents that bartered to not be prosecuted with? No, I mean like... Because I just gave you basically 4 different alternative reasons as to why Trump might have taken these documents and then refused to give them back. I think the funniest part about it is his refusal to give them back, though, obviously, because when they asked for it, like, why did you refuse to give important, like, really important pieces of information back? Like, that is, what the fuck are you doing? Like, they asked nicely. The funniest part about it is, like, the FBI incompetence in this situation is not because they did a raid on Mar-a-Lago. The FBI incompetence comes from the fact that they thought Donald Trump would not be so psychotic that he would just give it back if they asked nicely. Because they asked nicely. They were like, come on, dude, what the fuck? You got some top secret documents, bro. Like, we need it back. Like, we don't even know what the fuck's in them. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't have this. No longer president, you know what I mean? And he was like, no, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. They will never know. Where did you see that they asked nicely? Legally speaking, a subpoena is quite literally asking nicely. So for those of you who don't know, a subpoena is sent instead of a search warrant when you believe the person is going to cooperate. It's and they did actually ask nicely, and Trump actually went in and seemingly was cooperating with the ongoing investigation and the subpoena, but refused to give some of these documents that they had to retrieve forcibly and extract forcibly, which makes it even funnier. Like, if Trump had never cooperated with the subpoena, that would still be grounds for a search warrant. Remember, what they are talking about are the documents he gave back. These are the documents in the 15 boxes he gave back earlier this year. We didn't know anything about it until now. This is not what they took from the raid earlier in August. Oh, this is the 15 boxes provided to NARA contain classified information? No, I don't. Oh, this is, yeah. Oh, this is, yeah, from May 16th to 18th. This is when he was cooperating. This is the stuff that he gave back, that he took, that he gave back when they asked nicely. Yes, that's right. Thank you for the clarification. From May 16th to the 18th, 2022, FBI agents conducted a preliminary review of the 15 boxes provided in NARA and identified documents with classification markings in 14 of the 15 boxes. A preliminary triage of the documents with classification markings revealed the following approximate numbers. 184 unique documents bearing classification markings, including 67 documents marked as confidential, 92 documents marked as secret, and 25 documents marked as top secret. I read the affidavit, and it talks about how none of the classified documents were in their folders and mixed with random unimportant shit. Honestly, it just seems like Trump is a memento hoarder. That's the best one. That is, out of all of the fucking things that could have possibly happened, him doing this because he's a hoarder is the funniest outcome. I didn't know, but it's like, why didn't you give it back? But what we do know is that Trump is trying right now in a federal court, in a separate federal court, actively stop the FBI from opening the other classified documents that they retrieved from Mar-a-Lago. It's for his scrapbook. My time as president. The best thing about this is bad things are happening to bad people finally, dude. No, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's such a perfect way. It's a perfect story because, like, you have the classic villain, okay? And all of the other awful people that love Donald Trump are so angry about it, and they constantly find themselves in a situation where they have to be like, oh, okay, well, maybe there was nuclear information, but that's okay. That Trump can have that and can give it to whoever he wants. Like, every week, whenever there's new information that comes out, they keep fucking having to say, like, well, it's all right. The fact that him stealing these classified docs could have been solved with little Marie Kondo in his life is very hilarious. Yes.
We're also seeing the designation ORCON for originator control. That means the agency issuing the report controls who sees the document. No foreign, which means intelligence that is so sensitive it can't be shared with foreign nationals. Even our closest allies, the British or the Australians, can't be shared. FISA, which refers to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, and SI, which refers to signals intelligence. That's the fruits of communications intercept. So very, very highly classified documents that were found.
Again, just remember, on the one hand, Donald Trump is saying, like, release the affidavit. On the other hand, he's getting his lawyers to ask a U.S. judge to temporarily block the FBI from reviewing the documents recovered from the ex-president's Florida home. Lawyers from Donald Trump have asked a federal judge to prevent the FBI from continuing to review documents recovered earlier this month from the former U.S. president's Florida home until a neutral special master is appointed to inspect the records. The request was included in a court filing on Monday, the first by Trump's legal team since the search at Mar-a-Lago on August 8th that takes a broad aim at the FBI investigation into the discovery of classified records from the estate. The motion filed in federal court in West Palm Beach, Florida, also asked investigators to return any items outside of the scope of the search warrant. Politics cannot be allowed to impact the decision, the administration of justice, the filing stated, adding, I don't know why I'm saying it like Donald Trump wrote it. Law enforcement is a shield that protects Americans. It cannot be used as a weapon for political purposes. The filing specifically requests the appointment of a special master not connected to the case who would be tasked with inspecting the records recovered from Mar-a-Lago and setting aside those that are covered by executive privilege, a principle that permits presidents to withhold certain communications from public disclosure. Brother, you're not the president anymore. Excuse me, fake news, excuse me. You're not allowed to look at my documents. You're not allowed. Do not read them. FBI, do not read them. Excuse me. It's wonderful. Trump reacted to the affidavit, by the way. You will love this. Affidavit heavily redacted. Nothing mentioned on nuclear, a total public relations subterfuge by FBI and DOJ. Someone has the clip. I literally said, clip this. Donald Trump, once the affidavit is released, is going to say it's heavily redacted. What are they hiding? They have nothing. And what are they hiding? I literally fucking said this verbatim. I know one of you motherfuckers clipped it. Yeah. Nuclear, a total public relations subterfuge by the FBI and DOJ. Or our close working relationship regarding the document turnover. We gave them much. Judge Bruce Reinhardt should never have been allowed the break-in of my home. He recused himself 2 months ago from one of my cases based on his animosity and hatred of your favorite president, me. What changed? Why hasn't he recused himself on this case? Obama must be very proud of him now. Only 36K likes, he fell off. Brother, this is Truth Social. What the fuck are you talking about? That's like everyone that is on that platform. You know that? I bet like Truth Social, it requires you to like automatically like Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump's fucking posts by design. Like when you sign up for a Truth Social account, like you like every single Donald Trump post. Anyway. Yeah. Get back to it.
In these 15 boxes that were turned over to the National Archives, which, as we know, prompted the archives to refer the matter to the Justice Department, which then launched a criminal investigation, which led many months later to them to seek this warrant. And now we have the FBI, or at least a partial version of the FBI agent's justification to the judge for why he sought this search warrant.
And Ken, I'm looking through it just very quickly here. Lots of references to the location of this. Is Donald Trump or others who might be suspects in this, are they named?
No, not that I can see here. Not at all. We don't see that. But to your point, there's an interesting paragraph on page 29 amid all these a sea of black ink and redactions that talks about the location of documents. And we already know from the search warrant that they searched the president's office and some other areas, the former president's office at Mar-a-Lago. This says specifically, based on this investigation, I believe that the storage room, F. POTUS's residential suite, that's F. POTUS, former president of the United States, Pine Hall, the 45 office, and other spaces within the premises are not currently authorized locations for the storage of classified information or NDI, National Defense Information. So essentially, this suggests this is where we believe some of these classified documents have been stored. Obviously, these are not secure locations. And it's very significant that they use the term NDI because one of the statutes implicated here is the Espionage Act, Lester. And the Espionage Act was written before the modern classification system. So it doesn't require technically that the information was classified, but it requires that it's national defense information, which most classified information is. And so the FBI agent here is suggesting that what's implicated here is national defense information pursuant to the Espionage Act.
Okay. Thanks.
Ousted Florida data scientist Rebecca Jones wins House primary and will face Matt Gaetz. Good luck.
President.
Okay, so that's what we have on the affidavit side. You look like you smell really good. I do smell fucking incredible. I'll keep it $150 with you. I smell really good. Yes. This one's funny as fuck too. No idea if you saw the Carl Oates affidavit paragraph 25 put more simply, Trump is a liar. On February 18th, 2022, the archivist of the United States, Chief Administrator for NARA, stated in a letter to Congress's Committee on Oversight and Reform Chairwoman, the Honorable Carolyn Maloney, NARA had ongoing communications with the representatives of former President Trump throughout 2021, which resulted in the transfer of 15 boxes of NARA in January 2022. NARA has identified items as classified national security information within the boxes. The letter also stated, because NARA identified classified information in the boxes, NARA staff has been in communication with the Department of Justice. The letter was made publicly available at the following uniform resource locator. On February 18, 2022, the same day, the Save America Political Action Committee posted the following statement on behalf of F. POTUS. The National Archives did not find anything. They were given, upon request, presidential records in an ordinary and routine process to ensure the preservation of my legacy, and in accordance with the Presidential Records Act, an image of this statement is below. It's like taking the banker's boxes full of fraud evidence from a failing business, something Trump would know all about. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, Donald Trump, this is how he operated for so long. And he was able to continue operating this way when he was in the White House because of the media apparatus that backed him, because of the godlike powers that America affords the president. You know what I mean? So that's partially the reason why I think he thought he could fucking get away with this shit. Like, it's just the same level of entitlement that like all the fucking hogs and hoglets and hogalinas had at January 6th, thinking that they could storm the halls of Congress and like beat the shit out of cops and live stream themselves in the process. Because what the fuck are people gonna do? This is our country. This is our government. You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do? You feel me? I love living in Idiocracy timeline. So much good content. I know. Newsmax is running with the story that the redactions are cancel culture. Dude, shut the fuck up. That's so good.
Redacted means cancel. Okay, so they canceled the affidavit. That is the most.
Bro, remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene said abortions are cancel culture? You're canceling the fetus. That's when I knew dumb motherfuckers are just gonna say like cancel culture trumps and is like a worse thing in the eyes of Republicans than actual murder, because abortions are supposed to be murder. If you're pro-life, you believe abortions are murder, right? So if you're using cancel culture as an appropriate substitute to murder, then you're saying like cancel culture is a better way to reframe fucking literal baby murder, right? You think that's worse than literal baby murder. That's why they're using it for everything else.
Means cancel. Okay, so they canceled the affidavit. That is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen there. That's like FBI in your face. I mean, redacted means cancel. Okay, so they canceled the affidavit. That is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen there. That's
lessening the impact at the same time. Yeah, but no, it's not. Only to you libtards who love cancel culture. It's actually strengthening it for brave American patriots who know cancel culture is the worst thing. It's literally worse than baby murder, which is also the worst thing.
They would have.
Republicans are like, the only cancellation that they don't like is student loan debt. Okay? They like all matter. The only thing that they... Well, maybe that's why they hate student loan debt cancellation. They hate cancel culture.
Somebody who, had said, in essence, you have been misled, whether it was a deliberate lie or a lie based in ignorance. Somebody told you there's no more classified material here. There is classified material here.
Carl, Jonathan Turley was just joining us a moment ago, and he said, yes, the affidavit does confirm a couple points, that it did appear in the leaks that we have seen come from the press throughout this process. But he also says the affidavit did not establish that the Trump people were wholly uncooperative or non-communicative, while noting that they were asked to turn over material and did not do so. There seems to be still a huge piece missing there in the timeline, and the affidavit doesn't appear to clear that up. Going back to the New York Post headline in the middle of all of this, you could have just asked.
Well, first of all, I agree with Jonathan Turley about the leaks. They are very troubling. This is what we don't want to see out of a process like this. But look, it is clear that beginning sometime in early 2021 through January of 2022, the NARA, the National Archives and Records Administration, was continually asking for the return of all material. The Presidential Record Act is clear. A president does not have the right to leave the White House and pick and choose what documents he wants to take with him. He can ask for copies, but those are the property of the American people. And since 1978, no president has left with the, sort of picking and choosing their own documents. So they were asking. How many times, we don't know, but the impression in the affidavit is that they asked for multiple times, and in January were given material back. They again begin to ask, the federal government begins to ask the former president for return of anything else he has there, and they know there's material there. I mean, they go on June 3rd and view the boxes of material. They have a general sense of how many boxes are there. So, maybe we ought to ask the government, how many times did you ask for the return of the material? And President Trump has said several times, all they had to do was ask.
Stop saying Karl Rove spitting. What the fuck? Karl Rove has never spit anything but bile, okay? Just because he's on the right side of this does not mean anything, okay? This is typical. These conservatives love doing this shit. There is a very real movement within the Conservative Party that considers Donald Trump to be a liability for this sort of reason, this exact reason. They love Donald Trump. They love his policies. They love how he captivates an audience. They're just kind of jealous that he's not able to captivate the audience in the same way, or their guy is not able to do it, which is why they kind of want to hedge Ron DeSantis in. Ron DeSantis is a political. Ron DeSantis is a political being. Okay, he is a very much a part of the political system. He's a part of the machine. Trump, in some ways, is a liability because he could just be like volatile. He could just like pop off and say random shit. Okay? That's the only main difference they have.
Well, my sense is they were asking for a year and a half. And why he was holding on to these materials when he had no legal authority to do so under the Presidential Records Act is beyond me.
All right, Karl Rove, with his thoughts on that. Karl, we appreciate it. We may come back to you depending on how the afternoon unfolds. Right now, let's go back to David Spaulding.